Wait, Will Smith punched Chris Rock in the face. Is it? Wait, am I being lied to? Is this just like one of those things like Joe Rogan just died? Will Smith confronts Chris Rock on Oscars stage after comedian makes jokes about Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh my, wait just a patty flippin' moment here, Krusty Krab fans. This is actually Oh! Bro, I was expecting like a little love tap. This man just full hogged him. Bro, that was like a cold clock. That looked like some shit out of Slap Fight Championship. Hold on, let me bring this on screen. What the fuck? That looked huge.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't know, that doesn't...
Smack the shit out of me.
That doesn't look planned. That does not look planned.
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
G.I. Jane のジョークだったんです。
I'm going to.
Holy shit.
Oh, okay. That was a...
Is CTE setting in? God damn. Just fucking concussed him. That was huge.
最高の場面でしょうか。
So we are here to give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out.
Wow. Wow. Was that a bit? That doesn't look like a bit. I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of slaps. That doesn't look fake. Bro, I'm like the resident slap expert. Chris Rock eats it. There is no sign of flinching, and Will Smith doesn't advertise this slap at all. That really looks real. Yeah, that 100% connects. So if it was planned, Chris Rock has got an iron chin for going through with this. Because that's fucking huge. That was a real slap. Horrible stepping from Will Smith. True, this would be a penalty in the Slap Fight Championship ring. He did step. In Slap Fight Championship, you're supposed to say planted. But I think he was just throwing the rules to the wind there. Oh my god. That would also probably be a clubbing penalty too. That was more like an open palm monk strike. And Chris Rock took it like a champ.
Wow.
What really makes me feel like it's real, because maybe they're just really good actors, right? But what makes me think it's real is Will Smith's reaction. Will Smith is a good actor, but he's not this good.
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
G.I. Jane のジョークだったんです。
That's real fucking anger. That is real. You can like hear and see how angry he is. Yeah, his eyes are going glossy, like he's seeing red. What was the joke that he told? That had to be something intense. His wife has a condition where she loses her hair. And did he make a joke about it? But making fun of bald men is fine? wait, what is this whataboutism? I didn't say anything like that. I just said it's still fucked up. What are you talking about? Jesus, man. God, that is like an actual Twitter moment right there. What is the popular screenshot? Twitter will take anything and change it around. Like, I could say I love pancakes and someone will reply, so you hate waffles? Something like that. I'm sure I butchered it, but goddamn, that was like a real Twitter moment. Damn, I can't believe this shit just happened. Man, the one time I don't watch the Oscars and it's actually entertaining. Just absolutely full on. I've seen thousands of slaps by now. Polish slaps, American slaps. I even saw the Tattoo Enthusiast slap tournament, like in the very beginning. I've seen them all. That is not scripted. And if it is, Chris Rock is... That man's a superhuman, and he should be immediately admitted to like the Slap Fight Championship League. Replay it again? Yeah, here you go. One more on the Jumbotron. Now, if it was scripted, I really feel like there would have been a tell. Because Chris Rock doesn't flinch or anything. He is just ready. He is even extending. And Will Smith doesn't advertise this slap at all. That shit came out of nowhere. That was a surprise Amazon delivery. That was 5 fingers to the face express. Will Smith wasn't even supposed to go up. He just did. Oh, shit. So he wasn't even supposed to be on stage. Oh, I thought he was like going up to get like an award or an announcement or something and just surprised him with it. This man came the whole way like he was charging the pitcher's mound in slow motion. Imagine he wins the best actor now. Oh my god, yeah. I wish he was nominated for the category Chris Rock was presenting for best documentary. Then he goes up again and gets him with the left hand. He literally laughed at the joke. I don't know the whole clip, but this would be my guess. We've all been there, where someone says a joke that fucking hurts. Your immediate response is to go along with it so you don't look like a bitch. So you don't look weak or you don't look bothered, because you never want to feel like that or look like that. So you just nervous laugh along with it. But then that shit must have festered for a minute and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. So then he went up and blasted him. Chris Rock tried to play it off. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Just cry? Bro, that shit hurt. And he was just being as professional as he could about it. He was a little rattled, though. He started fumbling his words a bit. A little stunned. Isn't that assault? It is, but only if the person assaulted presses charges. It's not like the police are going to storm the building and take Will Smith away in handcuffs unless Chris Rock himself presses those charges. How many of you have never been in a fight? I mean, I haven't been, like, the main participant in a fight, but I've helped break them up before. It's not like once a punch is thrown, all of a sudden you hear sirens in the distance. Like, that is something that you have to pursue. Oh my god, that picture. Hungrybox just posted this. Damn. Look at this shot here. I'll go full cam. I'm not going to pull it up on here again because of the Council of Cock. It's like a boogeyman of Twitter. Look at that fucking slap, though. Man, I told you that shit was not fake. Look at that technique. Will's even got, like, his other hand up ready to, like, block a counterattack. And you can see the mark on his face where his fingers connected. Damn, that is textbook. Bro, did Vasily Kamatsky train Will? Like, good lord. In the full clip, Will had to walk so far. That stage is huge. He came in there like he was like a WWE wrestler entering the Royal Rumble. I was expecting like pyrotechnics like halfway through this walk. God damn. That's a huge stage. How sensitive can you be? My man got pissed. Like, he just got real mad. Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of a weird joke to make right to someone's face about an autoimmune disorder that causes them to lose hair. I mean, that's kind of bold. I don't even know if they're friends. Bro, I bet the Oscars right now is looking like a One Direction concert back in the day. Everyone's got their phones out recording, trying to get every angle of what happened next. Let me see. What I mean is it's going to divide them on whether or not Will was in the right or wrong. It's not like it's... Chris Rock made a joke. So it's going to be one of the things of, it's just a joke, maybe tasteless, but does it deserve the slapping? So I'm curious where most people are going to fall, where that pendulum's going to go. I imagine people are going to be like, you have to defend your wife, and by defending your wife, you're defending yourself. It was an insult on both him and his wife's honor, and Will did the right thing, an old-fashioned slapping. And then other people saying, Will's a pussy, and he's insecure, and this was too far. I think those are going to be the two sides. Chris Rock is probably like, damn. I wish Chris Rock had fought back. I would have loved to see like an actual scuffle, like, he just takes the slap and he's like, alright, bet. And then they just go at it. God, it would have been fucking cool. Like some actual schoolyard shit. I know everyone likes to call into question the authenticity of everything. This is one of those things that I do not think was fake under any circumstances. I've watched so many slaps. I am literally on the forefront of slapping tournaments, man. I've seen millions of fucking slaps. That was a true textbook slap. And if that was planned, then Chris Rock is an absolute menace. Man is a fiend. If he wanted to get physical, why on national television? Bro, if I was to ever throw a punch at someone, I would want that shit televised. Like, if I was ever to go just hog wild, I would want it on the biggest stage possible. For sure. Yeah, that part, I would, yeah. So I'd want my slap to be televised, but I'd really like if they turned the cameras off when I was crying. True, good point. Yeah, it's kind of unlucky that someone filmed him crying too. So maybe we just cut it off right before the tears. Will Smith literally got his start as a comedian and a rapper. He made fun of people's appearances and never had limits. Yeah. He just really didn't like that one. He thought that one was a super stinker. And to be fair, Will Smith has been having a real weird go of things recently with his wife talking about like how she cheated on him to his face on her show. Like, I will say, Chris Rock comes out of this looking like an actual Terminator, though. The way he ate that slap makes me think that his chin could stop a bullet. Good thing he didn't joke about Jada fucking other guys. I thought that's what it was. So when I first heard the reason he did this is because of a joke Chris Rock told about his wife, I thought for sure it was about being like a cuck or something. Or about like the infamous podcast clip where Will is very upset and his wife just keeps going about how she cheated on him and like she needed to cheat on him. I thought for sure that's what it was. If he had done that, Will would have really beat his ass. I don't think so, man. I think, because Will's really, like, come to terms with that, it seems. Like, he was sitting right there as his wife was going over these things, and then they even did, like, a high five at the end and said, bad marriage for life. So I really feel like if Chris Rock was joking about that, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. Will Smith actually won. Will Smith won. Please tell me Chris Rock is presenting the award in, like, a cast. So he just won Best Actor? Oh my god, I hope he gives a speech. Maybe he calls Chris Rock out to a boxing match? Will Smith with a steel chair. Yeah, it gets real WWE and he brings up the chair and a kendo stick and just starts beating his ass. So what's he saying? You usually give like some words when you win. What's he saying? Come on, guy. Fucking keep me up to date. I don't have it pulled up on like a TV or anything. Come on. Where's my fucking real-time intel? He just sucked Chris off. Why am I asking Twitch chat for information on what's happening? Oh my god. What kind of sick madman puts a speech as a GIF? There's no audio on it. What is wrong with you? He's talking about having people disrespecting him and protecting people. I don't know about all that, but I will say after all this, if there's someone here that I think could protect someone, it's Chris Rock. That man is like an actual human riot shield with the way he took that slap. I'm so happy this happened during stream. I got to be on the cutting edge of it as it was unfolding. We watched this tweet go from 5,000 likes to 177,000. So, we were here. We dug our feet in. Do you think Amy Schumer will make a joke about Will slapping her vagina? Is Amy Schumer at the Oscars? What's she nominated for? I also love the people that tagged me after the slap went live immediately on Twitter saying a new slap champion has entered the arena. Yeah, it's crazy the public perception of Will Smith over the years, man. I remember growing up, he was one of the most beloved actors of all time. And then over the last maybe like 6 or 7 years, I'd say, it's gone real south. You know what it was? I can pinpoint the exact moment. YouTube Rewind. The second he did YouTube Rewind, shit went tits up. He did YouTube Rewind the year after his wife is talking about how she cheated on him right to his face, and then it's like it just keeps getting weirder and weirder for him. The Oscars is going fucking wild tonight. For Best Picture, they might just actually have a fucking SWAT unit repel in or something. I think this is a really unique opportunity for the Oscars. I remember before the Oscars were going up tonight, like before they started, everyone was like, yeah, no one gives a fuck about the Oscars anymore. It's such a worthless, egotistical waste. It's dead. Oscars ratings have been tanking for years. And now look at it. They can really pivot and maybe turn Oscars into like a combat thing. Like you fight for the award physically. So that way the fittest one, like the most like war-hardened veteran will win the award. That would actually get people to watch again. Yeah, apparently there was a nip slip too, but I don't give a shit about that. I've seen billions of nipples thanks to the internet. I don't give a fuck there. But you can't find high-quality slaps like that often. Where's his speech at? So he just keeps talking about protecting. I mean, I will say, if Chris fought back, I wonder who would have won. Because Chris ate that. Like, let's play out a scenario. Let's play out like a real Detroit urban survival training fitness course scenario. Chris Rock has jumped into Will's house. He's a burglar. And Will Smith has just tried to defend his wife with the slap. Chris ate that. Now what? Like, I don't know if it would have really, like, protected him, right? Because Chris was looking like a fucking tank. But maybe he just does. Maybe he put all his points into defense, and he doesn't have like good striking capabilities. This is a really sweet speech. It would have had a lot of impact if he didn't just slap a man before it. Could you take a punch from Will Smith? Man, fuck no. I couldn't take a punch from anyone over the age of 12. That's why I wouldn't get into like a YouTuber boxing fight. I would get absolutely blasted. The only people I would fight is like children's toy review channels if I had to. This isn't about me. He didn't apologize to Chris, he apologized to his fellow nominees. Nice. I want to give a real sincere apology. I did something real silly a minute ago. And it's to all my nominees. I'm sorry. Fuck you, Chris. He said, I hope the Academy takes me back. Man, fuck the Academy. They run like the Sith Order. Like, man, they're weird. If the Academy doesn't bring Will Smith back just for the sake of perhaps another slap, then they've truly lost their mind. Because now I know I'll probably watch the next Oscars, even though I had no interest in this one, just because maybe Will Smith slaps somebody else. Maybe he just goes across the entire stadium just fucking slapping everyone. Like, now anything's on the table. It's unpredictable. Maybe he'll keep this energy up past the Oscars too. Like, maybe now that he's got a taste of blood, he'll be ready for a fight at the drop of a hat at any award show. Like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. Like, you better fucking watch your ass if Will Smith is nominated, because shit might just pop off. Man, I'm so tired of all the people saying it's staged. You have to be really young or really dumb to think that. This is absolutely one of those very rare, real moments that happens on TV. I have analyzed thousands of slap matches. Literally thousands. That slap fully connected. It wasn't telegraphed. If it was scripted, he would have absolutely had some kind of tell, like moving his shoulder or something. He literally hit it till the last second and blasted Chris, who didn't flinch or anything. He never saw it coming. And in the actual picture, you can see where his fingers hit his face. It left an imprint. And then the way that he gets this angry afterwards, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, that's real rage. His eyes are glossed over. Like, he is genuinely mad. Dude, they're actors, so maybe. Exactly, they're actors, not fighters. Chris wouldn't sign up to get actually, attacked. Bro, half of these actors won't even do, like, the simplest stunts of, like, jumping off a curb into a superhero pose or something. You think they're gonna take a slap to the face? No chance. Alright, I'm back. Will Smith pile up any more bodies? I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have been glued to everything involving Will Smith over the last couple weeks since his slap at the Oscars. That slap was like a second Big Bang, but instead of creating a universe, it created a window for everyone to look into an absolutely awful, toxic marriage. And not only that, it's like open Pandora's box, but the only thing in that box was cuckoldry and sadness. Will Smith has been catching L's like Pokemon. Every single day is Christmas, but the only gift Santa brings us is more embarrassing stories about Will Smith or his marriage. One that still lives rent-free in my head is the time Will Smith, in an interview, said that he used to vomit after orgasming as a psychosomatic response. What a banger of an interview. So Will, how's your marriage? Yeah, I come and puke. Takes his mic off and walks away. Amazing. There's Will Smith with the puking, coming, and shitting statement. Thank you. Now, this was pre-slap. This was not the post-slap era. We're now living in a post-slap society, PS. So this is one PS. And since that slap, more and more stories have been coming out about how awful his marriage is with his wife. You know, like whether it's his wife saying she never wanted to marry him in the first place, which again, I don't know why you'd ever fucking say that. That's just such a mean thing to say, and especially make a public statement about it. Or his wife just absolutely steamrolling his ass, just dump trucking him about the slap, saying that she doesn't really support it and wasn't really happy about the slap. Like, she is just absolutely taking Will and cooking his ass. It is sad to see. It is just fucking painful at this point. Now, recently this video came out where Jada Pinkett Smith, his wife, was filming him without his permission. You can just see how defeated and uncomfortable this guy looks. This was from 2019, so this was, again, pre-slap, BS, before slap era. But it is still just such a sad look at an awful, awful relationship.
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please.
This reminds me of that scene from the movie Hitch where Will Smith says, "I saw that going differently in my mind." Like, it's the same energy as this right here, but in reality. So his wife just starts recording him and trying to make him like dance like a puppet to, promote whatever she's trying to talk about. I'm not really sure the full context, to be honest, but it's about how someone helped their marriage, but she's doing it without Will's permission and his consent to film, which is obviously an intrusion. That's not okay. That's just violating his personal space and his privacy. He clearly didn't want to be on camera for this, but she doesn't respect boundaries, as evident from the time when she sat him down on her show to tell him about her entanglement with other men, right to his face, just talking about the cheating and making light of it. And Will is very clearly like upset, nearly crying about it, but she just keeps going and pushing it. And you can see that it's not just like something she does for her show. It seems like it's something that translates to their actual household. I'm becoming fully parasocial in this Will Smith relationship now. Will Smith is a fucking weirdo. This whole family is weird. There's nothing I'm trying to defend here. I'm just watching as a spectator and trying to wrap my head around this absolutely wacky and wild season of the Will Smith household.
I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No, because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
God, that seems absolutely fucking miserable where your wife is also playing the paparazzi, so you're just never safe. You could just at any moment end up on fucking Instagram live stream or whatever this was without you having any prior knowledge of it and just embarrassed. I can't even for 1 second think of a possible reason why she'd even film this and post it. This is just straight up delusional. It seems like it was supposed to be like a promotional piece for her upcoming episode with a guest that supposedly helped their marriage. But that marriage is not looking that healthy. Will Smith looks like he's trying to come up with a plan to fake his own death to get out of this marriage easier. Whatever wounds she was talking about being healed thanks to this person have clearly not healed. She has been scammed. It's like a fucking crypto scam here. Those wounds have not been healed. It seems like only salt has been poured on those wounds, like a jellyfish sting, and the only thing they've done for it is piss all over it. It's not getting any better. This looks awful. And it seems like it was supposed to promote her upcoming episode. But this did the opposite. It just made the person she's bringing on look like a fucking idiot if she was at all responsible for what you're seeing in this clip here. It just blows my mind. I don't really know what Jada Pinkett Smith's show is about. The only clips I've ever seen from it are the ones where she's talking about how much she hates marriage and embarrasses Will on it. So it really sounds like her show is just a weekly roast of her husband. I don't really get it, but damn, every single day a new story comes out that just makes Will look fucking awful. It's just more and more awful stories surface or videos surface that showcase an absolutely brutally dysfunctional marriage and household. So yeah, I've been really keeping up with it. I can't help it at this point. I'm so invested. That slap has just been like a gateway drug, and now I'm fully addicted here. Will Smith has been banned from the Oscars for like 10 years now. I don't really know what's going on with Chris Rock. He's probably still laughing about the whole situation. But I mean, overall, that whole Oscar slap thing has just been the gift that keeps on giving if you care about celebrity drama and gossip. What a wild and wacky ride. And I'm sure even more information about Will Smith or his wife is going to come out tomorrow. Like, at this rate, it's probably going to be a new story every day because it does not seem to be slowing down. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. Today, Will Smith posted a YouTube apology video for slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. And when I saw it, I had to scratch my head and wonder why. It happened so long ago. I was confused. Why is he apologizing now? I felt like Robin Williams coming out of Jumanji asking what year it was. And then I remembered that happened this year. It was 4 months ago that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock's head clean off his shoulders at the Oscars. He turned an award ceremony into a public execution when he blasted Chris Rock to Valhalla, just banishing him to the Shadow Realm with a slap. Mm-hmm. Oh, baby, that's right. He starts this with the most generic YouTuber apology intro imaginable. A slow walk into a big sigh right before getting into the actual apology. Textbook. He's clearly been trained by some of the YouTuber apology greats like Logan Paul, Laura Lee, Tati. I mean, this is perfection here. Every box of YouTuber apology cliche gets ticked immediately except for one. He didn't bring his dog into it. A lot of YouTubers like to bring in an animal in order to, deflect some of the criticism with cuteness with the animal. Will Smith, unfortunately, must have forgot that prop this time around, but everything else he nails.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy.
So the main thing he's doing in the apology video here is answering questions that people have asked over the last 4 months. And again, I have to wonder, why even bother? It's been 4 months on internet time. That's basically ancient history. Like, that's back there with like Y2K now. Most people have moved on and forgotten about it. So it's a little weird to be this tardy to the party with addressing these things. Now, of course, I understand this was like a career-ruining moment for him, so he wants to do his best to be perceived positively again, both by movie execs as well as the general public. So if he really did feel strongly enough that he wants to apologize, then all power to him. But anyway, the first question that he addresses here is one that I don't think anyone with half a brain ever asked in the first place. Why didn't you apologize to Chris during your acceptance speech? The answer should be pretty obvious if you have eyes. It's because he was still mad. He was still fuming. Of course he wasn't going to apologize for it. Literally 15 minutes before he accepted that award, he had just charged the stage like The Undertaker during WrestleMania going into the ring and clobbered Chris. So of course he's not going to immediately like fold and be like, man, sorry Chris, that was out of line. He was still upset. That's why he didn't apologize. I don't really understand his excuse of I was still, in a fog. It was all still fuzzy. Like in the moment that makes sense, but over the last 4 months, what, you've just been in a perpetual fog? You've been in like the upside down or something? Like, what do you mean? You've had 4 months if you wanted to publicly apologize to Chris and you didn't. And even to be fair here, you still don't. He says I'm sorry to a lot of people, but the one person he doesn't say the words I'm sorry to is Chris.
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
That almost sounds like a trap, like, hey, I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. And it turns out Will's been training for the last 4 months with slap boxing, so he's been like slapping brick walls until they collapse, so he's ready to really get him with like a double whammy, get him with that encore performance. There's a big difference between saying, I apologize to you, and I'm sorry. I don't think people really understand the value of just saying, I'm sorry. I think it's the most important thing to say during an apology, which he does say later on to other people, but never Chris. To Chris, he just says, I apologize, and the action was unacceptable. Which is, that's good, that's definitely a start, but I really think you needed that cherry on top here of an I'm sorry. This is also just one of those things that should have been handled privately. I'm sure there were plenty of ways in the pipeline to let Chris know that you were genuinely remorseful for what happened, but I understand why he thought this was a good idea. I'm going to make a video coming forward, publicly apologizing and owning up to my mistakes, letting people see how horrible I feel and what I'm doing to change and be better. The thought process makes sense. Let people see a vulnerable side of you and let them know that you made a mistake and you know that. And that, it again, does make sense to anyone who's never been on the internet. I think one thing most people online are starting to understand and wake up to is that when you make an apology video, you lose. It's like what war games taught us. The only winning move is not to play. When you make an apology video, it is a lose-lose situation for you. You're either going to have people that don't believe that you're actually sorry, or they're going to have people that think that you didn't need to apologize in the first place, so now you look stupid. You look like a pussy. which I'm already seeing with Will Smith's apology. Like, why is he apologizing? He stood up for his wife. Does he not support his wife anymore? Oh my god, I've lost all respect for Will with this apology now. And then on the other side of that coin is, man, Will really needed to apologize, but this apology video was so dog shit, he missed the mark entirely. This is the worst apology video I've ever seen in my life. You just don't win with an apology. So again, this should have just been private.
3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment.
You slap the shit out of a man. It's not that deep. Talking about it like it's the most complex situation of all time. Like this slap was somehow, you know, like a Cold War or something here. It was a simple act that affected a decent chunk of people. Chris, most notably, I would say, was physically affected by the slap, but Will's career was also hurt by it. Chris's family was probably pretty upset by it. Like, yes, of course, people were affected by it, but it's not like there needs to be like 4 months spent of just digesting this giant web that all spawned from a slap. Because, again, at the end of the day, it's really not that deep.
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it.
Jada was behind the camera with a teleprompter and a gun, making sure this question was addressed properly. Of course, I'm kidding. You know, Jada just has very odd moments publicly with Will that I think are very tasteless in the things she says to and about Will. And it's the reason why a lot of people felt like she may have contributed to this overreaction from Will. You know, her rolling her eyes and then just having all of that context with the things she has said publicly about and to Will just made people wonder whether or not she was somehow involved in that decision from Will. But he's clearing the air here, saying that it was just him doing it. And you know what? I'll take his word for it. I think this was just an impulsive decision here. I don't think Jada had some kind of device that she can control Will's brain like something out of Dexter's lab. I really think he just completely overreacted and went fucking berserk here for some reason. And I don't think Jada is necessarily guilty of that, but I do think she is guilty of being a very toxic partner. I know that sounds parasocial to say, but the amount of clips and videos of Jada just shitting on Will to his face is baffling. Like the time where she was just talking about cheating right to him and how much she like enjoyed it or whatever during their red table talk. Oh my god, it's so hard to sit through. As Will's like in tears about it and she's just joking. Oh man, it's fucking brutal. And so now Will looks like a cuck. I mean, I'm just not a big Jada fan. I'll say it. I don't think she's that nice.
What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down?
Let me just stop you right there. You don't have to apologize to me. I found this whole thing to be highly entertaining. I thought this was extremely goofy, and no one seriously got injured or anything like that. This was just an absolute fucking wild moment. And honestly, for this section, he should have just said, "You're welcome." You know, to the journalist that wouldn't stop fucking writing about it, like a million articles all going deep into it for no fucking reason, talking about how this is setting a bad precedent and how in the next Oscars, all of a sudden people might be showing up there with battle axes to attack their critics, how journalists are no longer safe, you know, this and that. Like, he honestly should have just said, "You're welcome," for the 2 weeks of just articles and videos about it. Now, of course, there were super fans of Will that were disappointed to see this, and I think it's cute that he said that he was sorry for it and letting them down. He apologized to Chris's family, his family for the negative backlash they've faced. He apologized to pretty much everyone that was directly impacted by it. And now in this section, he's talking about how horrible he feels when he doesn't live up to people's image of him. And I will say he does seem pretty sincere for the most part. But again, it's been 4 months. Most people have moved on. This was pretty unnecessary. Though I'm sure a lot of people that did feel like really disappointed appreciate the gesture.
Disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. Deeply remorseful. And I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human. And I made a mistake.
But yeah, he finishes it off by saying that he is remorseful and he's, working on being better. And if you stick with him, you can all be friends again. And that's basically where it concludes. Overall, I don't think it's like the worst apology ever, especially in the tier list of YouTuber apologies. I think this one was one of the more sincere ones, at least from everything I've seen from it. Unless I've been deceived by his great acting, I couldn't tell you. But this is just one of those situations that is so wild to me. Why do this 4 months later? If he had done this like a day, 2 days, even a week after this happened, I think the reception to it would have been much better than it currently is. Yes, it still has, I think, a pretty positive reception overall from like his actual like dedicated fans. But the general consensus I'm seeing here is, why is he doing this? This seems very fake to do it now. It's way too late. We've all moved on, this and that. So again, you don't really win with an apology video, but if he'd at least made like a statement like this, a big statement like this, right after it happened, I think he would have been in a much better position now than he is currently, if that makes sense. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this since the slap is the gift that just keeps on giving. Somehow, there is still developments with that whole story that keep happening. Anyway, that's about it. So yeah. Growing up, I never understood the hype or obsession over celebrity couples, like a power couple where fans just celebrate that they're in love or whatever and they're fainting anytime they see a picture of them holding hands. Just like a growth spurt, I just never got it. Why would you care so much about two strangers' relationship? I always wrote it off as just being part of this super fan culture that I just didn't understand. I know in the modern day it's very rare for people to just casually enjoy something. If you like something, you have to fucking love it. You have to live, breathe, and sleep that thing that you like. We've seen it a lot over the years with K-pop, where K-pop stans will obsess and go wild over even the smallest things, like if their favorite singer posts a picture of them eating a hot dog online. They'll cross-reference that photo with all known databases, go to a cutting-edge laboratory using the latest forensics analysis tools in order to figure out where the photo was taken, where the hot dog was purchased, so they can go there in the real world and try and fish through the trash can looking for the wrapper that they threw away so they can frame it on their wall. It's just this level of investment in strangers that I've never really understood. Until now. As a 29-year-old man, I've had my eureka, come to Jesus moment. I get it. Because I have become very invested and fascinated with a celebrity relationship, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It's this never-ending disaster, this tragic play that keeps getting new acts added to it that I could have never predicted. It all started last year with the infamous slap where Will Smith slapped the devil out of Chris Rock on stage after Chris Rock made a joke about his wife Jada. And that signature anime finishing move with the slap actually pumped the brakes on his entire career. There were a lot of projects that he was involved with that dropped him, or just a lot of other projects that didn't want to touch him after this. So his whole career came to a screeching halt, all from the old 5 fingers to the face moment. And since then, there's been more and more information that's come out about their relationship that just makes it baffling. And it's so weird. Like, even prior to the slap, we had those uncomfortable moments where Jada invited Will Smith onto her show, where she just openly admitted to cheating on him and, like, having an entanglement with a much younger man, right to Will's face as he looks on in agony and sadness. And it spawned a lot of memes where Will Smith was, done up to look like Pain from Naruto and all of that. Because, I mean, it's rough. Like, it's really rough to just watch her giggle and laugh about cheating on Will, who seems very much still in love with her. And they always kept up this act that, they're strong together, they're still together, this and that. And now, today, Jada has revealed that her and Will have actually been separated since 2016. She has a book coming out pretty soon, and there was a little special filmed with Jada where she states that they've actually not been together in 7 years now.
Because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce.
Hey, can someone let Will Smith know that? I'm pretty sure this is the first time he's hearing it. You're telling me you guys actually split up in 2016? So he just sunk his career like the Titanic over his ex-wife? But then if that's the case, why would he say, keep your wife's name out of your mouth? Right? Like, that's just not adding up. I feel like she's just making this shit up. For the last year, I've paid attention to this relationship, and it feels like every opportunity she has to hurt Will publicly, she pounces on with a smile on her face. It's like, it's diabolical. Like, she reveals some very embarrassing things about their relationship publicly. She openly talks about how she preferred her previous relationship to Will, though she doesn't use that language. It makes it very clear with some of the things she's posted that she was happier before Will. At least that's the impression myself and many others get with a lot of the things that she posts about. It's just brutal. It's like being married to your biggest Twitter hater. Like someone who's just leaving the most deep-cut comments that actually hurt you on Twitter. It's like being in a relationship with them for 20 years. At least that's how it comes across. She does not seem to respect or even like Will at all. She is always running the bus over him any chance she gets. This is a bombshell. Claiming that she's actually, or they've actually been split since 2016, that doesn't even make sense. Now, apparently, she's claiming that it was a private decision they reached together, but in order to keep up public appearances, because they weren't ready to reveal it, they kept pretending like they were still married. But that just doesn't track. That doesn't make sense, because if that was the case, why would Will publicly slap the fuck out of Chris Rock and ruin his career over this if he didn't think you guys were still married? That wouldn't make sense.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
It's not quantum science we're talking about here. You just say that you're not together anymore. You would have saved both yourself and Will so much shame during the entire entanglement scandal if you had just said, hey, we actually separated 7 years ago. There is nothing to gain by keeping up a facade that you are still married and, you know, in love together when you're not, especially when you're fucking other dudes, right? Why would you not just say, hey, we're not together anymore, really? Like, it's just like the easiest thing in the world. You'd have to try so much harder to not say that and just bear all of the spitballs that were being shot at you for cheating. If you weren't actually cheating, then it should have been so much easier to just be like, hey, whoa, guys, look, we wanted to keep things private, but, you know, now things have hit the public sector, thanks to me talking about this on my talk show, and it's probably about time that we state we haven't been together for 7 years. And it would have been so much smoother for both Will and Jada. But again, I just don't believe this. I really don't. And this sounds super parasocial, but Will looks like he's perpetually going through life heartbroken, like in a trance, like this rain cloud over his head, while he stays with Jada, and she comes up with creative new ways of embarrassing him. Just nefarious plot to constantly publicly humiliate the guy. He just stopped his career for a whole year by slapping the man that he believed disrespected his wife. You're telling me that he did that knowing that you two weren't actually together? I don't believe that. An act which, by the way, she didn't appreciate. Like, even when it happened, she seemed to, like, publicly condemn it. And now she's talking about it again, saying that she initially thought it was a skit. I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit. And then she said, as soon as they were alone, she asked Will, are you okay? I'm not this man's psychiatrist, but I'll just tell you, he's not looking okay here. This really feels like a plot twist that Jada pulled out of her ass and isn't some mutually agreed upon thing. Like, I understand there's been rumors over the years that Will had some kind of affair with Margot Robbie at some point, though I don't think any of those claims have been substantiated. I think those were only ever just rumors. But Jada herself confirms an affair with somebody else. I just feel like Will and Jada aren't on the same page with that separation. But hey, then again, who knows? Celebrity couples are fucking weirdos. And this is by far the weirdest couple. And it's not even close. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if Jada truly did just make this up because it's a really big headline and attention grabber, so it'd be great for marketing for her upcoming book. The book's not fully out yet, so we don't know all of the, details behind everything or what all it's going to dive into. But just making a claim like this, a statement that they've actually been separated for 7 years as some kind of, like, big plot twist is huge for marketing for her book. So I really feel like there's a chance she did just make that up for that reason, and Will is as surprised as everyone else reading it right now. So, I could be wrong though. Maybe they are truly, a great team. They agree that they've been separated for 7 years, and Will still just sank his career for a relationship he's not even in anymore. Who knows? I just wanted to talk about this because I just find them to be a very interesting couple that I have become invested in learning about over the last year. That's really about it. So yeah. Did any of you see Will Smith and Jada's this has become my Kardashians. Did any of you see Will Smith and Jada do their most recent press tours, the wrong word. Their most recent speech, by chance? Did any of you see that? I'm sure it's not just me that's been highly addicted to Jada doing the best she can to publicly humiliate her husband every chance she gets. So she's made all the statements about, like, Tupac was her real soulmate, Will's this and that, Will's pathetic, he's weak, he makes me sick, I miss Tupac. Also, when Will slapped Chris Rock, I didn't like it and I don't like him, this and that. Well, Will has now spoken up about it. And basically what he did is just be like, yeah, I still love her. And love overcomes everything. Let me pull it up. And also, there was a great meme. Because for like 24 hours, every couple of hours, there'd be a new crazy statement from Jada about Will. And then eventually someone made a meme that I actually believed at first. Where it was, Jada Pinkett Smith reveals she's never met Will Smith. Because this was during her, like, third eye opening stage where she just kept dropping bombshells about how they're not actually married. They haven't been married. She wasn't cheating. The entanglement was fine, all that. Our relationship has been one big sloppy social experiment, and then everyone laughs, of course. And then he just talks about how much he loves Jada, and that their love is so strong and challenges the rest of the world to basically love someone no matter what and be with them no matter what. My heart was breaking just listening to it, because no matter how much you love someone, that doesn't mean you have to be with them if it's not healthy, which this definitely isn't. Like, it really seems like she resents Will. Like, it really fucking does. I think next step is going to be, like, full-blown cuckoldry while Will watches, and is going to once again have to be on Jada's podcast and hear about it and put it on blast for the world to, point and laugh at as a spectator sport. It just doesn't end. And they're also talking about maybe writing a book together, which I think is a horrible idea. I mean, Will's a weird guy too, of course. Like, he's done some weird shit, I know. But not like Jada, and not publicly rubbing it in her face all the time. Do you remember when Will Smith said he had so much sex he puked when he came? Yeah. Which I don't believe. That's just like some kind of lie a frat douchebag would make up at some point. Man, I fucked so much pussy I can't stop puking. So I don't really believe him on that, especially since he's been married to Jada for like 20 years. Longer than that, probably. I don't remember when they got married. It wasn't hyperbole. He said, I'll just pull up the quote. He literally said that he had so much sex that he would vomit from it. I had sex with so many women, and it was so constitutionally disagreeable to the core of my being that I developed a psychosomatic reaction to having an orgasm. It would literally make me gag and even vomit. Here. I thought they had an open relationship. That's just a theory, a game theory right now. I think it's just a rumor. Jada seems to indicate that they haven't been together for like 7 years now, but it seems like Will still thinks they are, because even Jada, I think what was her quote? I think she said, "I was surprised when Will called me his wife." I think that's what she said. So Will very much still does it, like, I think he's finding out the same way we are, that they're not together. Like, that's definitely not something I think they're on the same page about. Jada Pinkett Smith said she was shocked that Will Smith called her his wife after slapping Chris Rock. Oh my god, that's gotta be awful. He is married to his biggest Twitter troll.
Our union is a sloppy public experiment.
Right you are, Will. An unconditional love.
It is an unconditional love.
Yes, yes. You find yourself a wife that hates you half as much as Jada hates you.
Can you
and you'll be a happy
love
man.
somebody forever, no matter what?
The answer should be no. Well, you can love someone forever no matter what, absolutely. But that doesn't mean you should be with them forever no matter what. If your wife is actively fucking other dudes and humiliating you every chance you get when you don't want her doing that, you probably are better off not being there. You can still love that person, sure. That's natural. But that is still just not good for you, my man. It is just not good for you. But yeah, so I won't play the whole thing for you, but basically his whole speech is about how unconditional love should trump all of the other hoopla. So everything that Jada's been talking about, yes, it was a little off-putting to him because he was on vacation, so when he came back, all of the news started hitting him all at once. But at the end of the day, he loves her, and he's happy. But hey, if he is happy, all power to him. That is some weird shit. I don't know why I'm so invested in their relationship. It is just the most baffling thing I've ever seen put on public display, like, on their own accord. Like, she, and him, are both just yapping about it every chance they get. This is information you couldn't torture out of me in Guantanamo Bay. If I had this kind of situation developing, you couldn't get it out of me. Wonder Woman's lasso of truth couldn't get this information out of me. And here she is writing a book about it. He's giving a speech about it. Like, it blows my mind. Drama equals publicity. Yeah, that's what I've tossed that little tomato around, like, in my head about, like, maybe this really is just all for publicity. But it's like the worst publicity ever for Will. He's already been outcasted from Hollywood for the slap, and now he's getting outcasted from the good graces of society for the way his wife treats him and the way that he seemingly doesn't like it, but still lets it go and stays in the relationship that he doesn't seem happy in. This is so fucking parasocial. I'm so fucking parasocial with this. Like, it doesn't seem like publicity you'd want as Will. Or even Jada. Because Jada's become like one of the most hated women on the planet from all of this. You're so invested. I know, it's pathetic. It is so pathetic. I can't help myself. It's so weird. And I'm drawn to weird goofiness like mosquitoes to pile of shit in the rain. It's just, I don't know. It's something I can't look away from here. It's all a skit, bro. It's all a skit. My man, she literally fucked she fucked their son's friend and then told Will about it to his face where he nearly broke into tears on her podcast. This is the worst skit ever. That's crazy method acting. Because they were steaming ham together. That ain't no, like, thespian type troop. But yeah, like I said, I'm way too invested in this fucking relationship, man. It's so weird to me. And it makes me giggle. Well, giggle and cry, kinda. Have you seen the recent bear epidemic going on? There was a bear who stole frozen lasagna from a fridge, another bear who stole tin burgers from a barbecue, and another bear that stole gummy bears in a gas station. Then there was also Frank the Tank who broke into 20 houses, and then that bear that also broke into the back of a food truck. Damn, they're getting crazy out there, huh?